Let me mute first. Sound audibility is fine. Okay. So I think last class we were solving numericals, right? Which question number we finished? Happy afternoon. Am I audible or not? Okay. So numerical exercise 3.4. Which question number we have finished? First one is finished, right? Okay. So before I do the second, third, and the fourth one, let us quickly see what were the important formulas which we derived. Okay. So if you remember, in projectile motion, if you throw a body from ground, okay, with let us say initial velocity u at angle theta. So these two quantities will be given to you. This is your initial velocity, the speed, or you can say the speed with which the body starts. 10 meter per second, 20 meter per second, any number it can be. And this theta was called, anyone remembers the name of this theta? What is this theta called? This theta was called angle of projection. Angle of projection. Yeah, correct. Angle of projection. Now, if the angle of projection is 90 degree, if this is 90 degree, then it will simply go up and down. Simply it will go up and down. Then it will be 1D motion. 1D motion we are not interested. We have already covered. We are interested in 2D motion. So we will throw at some angle which is not 90 degree. Then the path of the body will be like this. Parabolic path. Okay. Now, three important questions they may ask. One is, what is the maximum height? What is the maximum height? Then, if it starts at time 0, what is the time to reach here? That time is called time of flight. And how far it goes, how far the projectile goes horizontally. Matlab this distance. This distance was called what, students? This distance was called range. Okay. So what were the important formulas we derived? Maximum height was u square sine square theta by 2g. Correct, right? Time of flight was 2u sine theta by g. And range was u square sine 2 theta divided by g. So these three formulas we need to remember if we want to solve numericals. Also, I told you, try to remember for entrance exams. For entrance exams, you can see that this u is at an angle theta, right? So you can break. You can say break or you can say resolve. You can resolve or break this initial velocity into two components. One will be this u cos theta and one will be this u sine theta, right? This is what we call ux, x component, and this is what we call uy, y component, right? So you can write this formula this way also. Uy square by 2g. Yes or no? Agree or not this one? Because u sine theta is uy. Uy is u sine theta, y component of initial velocity. So since this u square sine square theta, I can write uy square. Yes or no, students? Agree or not? Yeah. Similarly, this how I can write 2uy by g, right? Because u sine theta, I can write uy. And finally, this, if you remember, we can write 2ux uy divided by g. So I want all of you to just remember this formula once. Let me get one darker pen, okay? I think the ink is over. So just try to revise these formulas once quickly. Okay, so I hope all of you will remember for board exams, at least these formulas you remember. Now, one thing you look carefully, time taken from here to here. Okay, so time taken in projectile motion is independent of x component of velocity. It only depends on which component? It only depends on y component of initial velocity. Remember, this is something very, very useful for solving many questions which may come in your entrance exams. For example, before we start solving the numericals, let me give you one very interesting question, okay? Which you can easily solve if you remember that time taken in projectile motion depends only on y component of initial velocity. So if you remember this, no, one very complicated problem you can do in a very easy way. So look here. I will solve the other problems, don't worry. So let me give you one nice problem. Okay. Imagine there is ball number 1 which I am going to drop from some height h. This height is h. So this is dropped. Okay, this is dropped, simply dropped. Okay, and ball number 2 is thrown horizontally like this. Okay, horizontally with some velocity u, let us say. It could be 10 meter per second, 20 meter per second, I don't care. Question is, if I drop this one and I throw this one at the same time, this one I will drop, this one I will throw horizontally. Okay, students, not like this, not at some angle, horizontally. Then which one will reach the ground early? Which one will reach the ground first? Ball number 1, ball number 2, or both will reach together? What do you think? Ball number 1 will reach first. Everyone know? So remember, ball number 1 is dropped. Ball number 2 is thrown horizontally. Okay, horizontally, not at an angle. Then which ball will reach the ground first? Everyone here is saying ball number 1. Sanvi is thinking, Arey, if it was so easy, why Pankaj sir will ask? Then maybe I should answer the uncommon question, ball number 2. Then others also thought like that. So now some students are saying ball number 2. Anyone else? That's it, huh? 60 students are there. Why only few are answering? What do you think? Who will reach the ground first? No, heavy and light doesn't have to do anything. We are doing it in without air resistance, Channa. Without air resistance. So without air resistance, if you do, the mass does not play any role. Very soon, I think Sujal, you were the one, no? You who had that video? Sujal or who? I think one video was there. Yeah. So Sujal, you can share that video to Channa. Okay. So without air resistance, it doesn't matter which is heavy, which is light. So the answer, let me tell you. Okay. So question is, which ball will reach the ground earlier? Answer is, hold your breath, everyone. Answer is, both will reach together. Both will reach together. Matlab at the same time. Both will reach together at the same time. First you write the answer. First you write the answer. Okay. Now I can give you two answers for this. One is very simple answer. One is little lengthy answer. Which one you want? Simple one, lengthy one, or both? Simple one. Okay. So simple one is simple. Look here. Okay. Stop writing now. Simple one is simple. You people, I have told you yesterday also in WhatsApp group, I have messaged you that in projectile motion, time taken depends only on y component of initial velocity. Which component? Y component. Now tell me, what is the initial velocity of this ball? Initial velocity of ball number 1? 0, because it is dropped. So since initial velocity of ball number 1 is 0, y component of the velocity also will be 0. Agree or not? If a vector is 0, its components also will be 0. No. 0 cos theta you will do. 0 cos theta, 0 sin theta. No. So the y component of initial velocity of the first ball is 0. No doubt about that, because it is simply dropped. Now tell me, what is the y component of the initial velocity of ball number 2? Ball number 2 has initial velocity in which axis? Ball number 2 was thrown along which axis? X axis. So what will be its y component? 0. That means even for ball number 2, the y component of initial velocity is 0. Understood? So since they have same y component of initial velocity, and if you remember, time taken depends only on y component of initial velocity. Of course, once you drop, gravity will increase the speed. Once you drop, gravity will increase the speed, we know that. But the way the y component of velocity will increase here, it will be exactly same as in this case. Therefore, both will reach together at the same time. I know this has x component of velocity. This has x component of initial velocity. Ball number 1 has x component of initial velocity. No, it doesn't have. Ball number 2, it has x component. So what happens? Because of this component, it will go this side also. But along y-axis, they will have exactly same kind of motion along y-axis. Therefore, both will reach together. Okay, if I try to show you, not now. If I try to, Sujal, concentrate in the class, I will message you, don't worry. Suppose I take pictures of this motion 1 second later. Suppose after every 1 second, I take picture and I try to show you how it will look. Look here. After 1 second, this ball number 1 will be here too. Okay, covering this much vertical distance, right? Now, ball number 2 also should cover same vertical distance. Why, sir? Because initial velocity of ball number 2 along y-axis is same as this one, 0, 0 both. So this also should cover the same vertical distance. So it will go somewhat like this. Ball number 2 will be here. Understanding or not? After 1 second. After 1 more second, ball number 2 may reach here. Maybe somewhere here. Covering this much vertical distance. Ball number 2 also has to cover same vertical distance. So ball number 2 will go like this. It will be here. Okay. Then finally, when this will reach the ground, covering this much vertical distance, this ball number 2 also has to cover this much vertical distance. All of you understood the diagram? What I am trying to explain? Okay. So please understand, both the balls will reach the ground at the same time. And the reason is very simple. If you write formula for time taken by the first ball, okay, what formula you will use? S equal to ut plus half at square. Correct? This formula you will use because it is 1D motion. Ball number 1 is performing 1D motion or not? So no need to take components. So displacement is equal to ut plus half at square. This is for ball number 1. Okay. For ball number 1. What is the displacement ball number 1 has? H, right? Downwards. So let us take downwards positive. Initial velocity is 0. Initial velocity is 0. Plus acceleration due to gravity is g, downwards only. So if you take this plus, this also will be plus. Those who want to take up plus, for you this will be minus, this will be also minus. Okay, answer will be same only. So what will be the time taken? Cross multiply. 2h equal to gt square. Correct or not? So what will be time taken? Root of 2h by g. Everybody understood this part? Everybody understood this part? Time taken by the first ball? Okay. Now for the second ball, for ball number 2, directly we cannot write this formula because ball number 2 is performing 1D motion or 2D motion. Ball number 2 is performing 2D motion, right? So for ball number 2, okay, how I should write this formula? Sy equal to uyt plus half ay t square. Correct or not? Okay. Now what is the y component of displacement? See, ball number 2 has reached in here. This is the displacement vector. So this is y component of displacement. Correct? This is x component of displacement. Correct or not correct? So what is the y component of displacement? How much? H only, downwards. What is the y component of initial velocity? Remember, initial velocity was along x-axis. So it will have no y component. So y component of initial velocity is 0. And acceleration along y-axis is gravity itself. Cross multiply and rearrange. What do you get? Same time or different time? Same time. Okay. So this is what, after teaching you the concept, you people are not thinking properly. Pata pata, you want to answer fast. Now usually students, when I teach this topic in my class, I take 2 chalks in my hand. One white color chalk, one red color chalk. Then I will ask all the students to concentrate nicely. Then I will do like this. I will drop this one. I'll throw this one like this. And experimentally, they will see with their own eyes, both will reach at the same time. Unfortunately, since right now I am unable to do that, you cannot see that. But whenever our normal classes will start, I will surely show this. Okay? Fine, students. So don't forget this part. One student I remember used to say, sir, what if I fire a bullet? Suppose from some height, I drop one bullet and I fire one bullet. Bullet will go very far, no sir. It is correct, students, but for bullet, air resistance cannot be neglected because bullet will travel very, very fast. So air resistance cannot be neglected. Whatever I am saying is true without air resistance. So when air resistance can be neglected, then as long as the height is same, and as long as you throw one ball like this and one ball like this, both will reach at the same time. Answer this question now. It came in many exams, NEET exams also, JEE exams also. Okay, look here. Suppose ball number 1 is thrown with 5 meters per second. Ball number 2 is thrown with 10 meters per second from same height. Which will reach the ground first at the same time if I throw? Which will reach the ground first? Air resistance can be neglected for chalk, they don't move very fast. Only when objects move very fast, then air resistance becomes important. So both are thrown in what way they are thrown? Horizontally or at some angle? Horizontally. So what is the y component of velocity of this one? 0. What is the y component of velocity of this one? 0. So if I repeat my derivation, what will be the time taken? Same or different? Very bad, students. After saying so many things, you are still saying ball number 2, ball number 1. Okay. Okay. I hope everybody understood. As long as the y component of velocity is same, initial y component of velocity, time taken will be always same. I don't understand why you said this one, because initially what I told, initially I told one ball is dropped and another one is thrown, right? So these two I told will take same time to reach the ground. Then why this will not take same time? These two also will take same time, because even for this one, y component of initial velocity is 0. Even for this one, y component of initial velocity is 0, same like this one. So all of them will reach the ground at the same time. It will depend only on what? Height. Okay. Suppose I do like this. Now will they take same time? Now they will not take same time. Okay. Now this will take more time, because this will have some y component of velocity. 10 sine theta. So now your y component of initial velocity, is not 0, remember. So now this will not take same time. So you are understanding or not? You are giving me wrong answers in the middle. So I'm little not sure whether you are understanding or not. I have tried to show you pictures also how it looks. See, I'm not saying horizontal distance covered will be same. Of course, this will cover in the initial case. In the initial example, when this was thrown with 10 meter per second, please understand both will take same time, but which will cover more horizontal distance? Which will cover more horizontal distance? Second one, because it has more ux than this one, right? So horizontal distance will be covered more by this one. Okay, so if I show you a picture of how it looks, okay. So suppose imagine from this tower of some height, I throw two balls, ball number 1 and ball number 2. Ball number 1 is, let's say, 5 meter per second. Ball number 2 is 10 meter per second. Then ball number 2 will go like this. Ball number 1 will go like this. Okay. So the horizontal distance covered will be more for ball number 2 than compared to ball number 1. But time taken will be same, because time taken does not depend on x component of velocity. It depends on y component of initial velocity. So try to remember such questions, because such questions, no, you will not be able to understand without the help of physics. Simply, it is not common sense. If you apply common sense, you may get wrong answer actually. No, if you change the height, Shanmukh, if you change the height, then it is proportional to root of distance. Proportional to root h, I told. So if you change this height, if this height is more than this height, okay, so you may throw both of them horizontally. Okay, number 1, number 2. Now which one will take more time? First one will take more time, because time taken for the first one will be root over 2h by g. For the second one, it will be root over 2h dash by g. Right? So since for the first one, the height is more, time taken will be more. But the time taken will not depend on the x component. Only the range will depend on the x component. So it does not depend on the horizontal distance. Shanmukh, you are thinking about, okay, everybody look here. Shanmukh, did you attend my classes of proportionality? Yes, sir, or no, sir? Then you have to revise my classes on proportionality, which I have done few days back. What Shanmukh is thinking is, I know what he is thinking. He is thinking distance is equals to speed into time. Correct? So what Shanmukh is thinking, if distance increases, time taken also should increase. He is thinking like that. But that is true only when velocity is what? Only when velocity is constant. Correct? No. Suppose my velocity is constant. Every time I run with 2 meters per second. Then to cover more distance, I will take more time. But in this case, when you throw with 5 meters per second and 10 meters per second, if you write the formula for displacement along x-axis, what was the formula? Sx, uxt, yes or no? Yes or no? This was the formula. No, I did not write half ax. Shanmukh, why I am not writing this formula? Why I am not writing this? Ax, why I am not writing? Shanmukh, can you tell me why? What is the value of acceleration due to gravity along x-axis? Have you completed vectors, Shanmukh? So what will be the x component of acceleration due to gravity? Gravity is along y-axis. So if gravity is along y-axis, what will be the x component of acceleration due to gravity? Let Shanmukh answer. It will be 0. So since ax is 0, no need to write this. Now look the formula. Look the velocities. Is this constant for both of them? Is this same for both of them? Yes or no? No, sir, it is not same. Right? So since this is not constant, you cannot say if this is more, this should be more. Understood now? In fact, what is same? Time taken is same, but this is more for the second one. Yes or no? That is why it will cover more horizontal distance. Okay, so since this is more, this will be more. Time depends only on vertical height. Everybody understood now? Okay. Shanmukh, I hope you got the idea why you cannot say like that. Okay. Okay, so let us now discuss question number 2. Question number 2 of numerical exercise 3.4. Please listen to the classes carefully. I know you people are at home, so you may be eating chips and watching also. No problem. You can eat your chips and all, whatever you are doing. But keep your focus very carefully and listen to my words very carefully. In physics, each and every word is very important so that you can understand the concept. Then physics becomes very, very easy. Okay, see question number 2. A hiker stands on the edge of a cliff for 90 meters above the ground. So there is a cliff for 90 meters. Okay, one hiker is standing on the cliff. This is the cliff, let's say, and throws a stone horizontally with an initial speed of 15 meters per second. So he is throwing the ball horizontally. With what speed? 15 meters per second. What they are asking, neglecting air resistance, find the time taken by the stone to reach the ground. Directly also you can do now. But in board exam, directly we will not do. We will apply formula. Time taken, it will go in this path. So when it reaches here, let us say time taken is t. Here when it started, time taken was 0. And also we have to find the speed with which it hits the ground. Matlab, when it reaches here, it will have velocity in this direction, right? Tangent. It will hit this way. No, it is coming like this. If this is the ground, it is coming like this and it will hit like this. So at that point, its direction of the velocity will be like this. So we have to find this velocity. Since they say speed, matlab only magnitude of this velocity. So let us start. So from here to here, let me call this point A. Let me call this B. From A to B, let us apply our equation Sy equal to Uyt plus half Ay t square. Students, do not apply the time of flight formula which we derived previously, because that one was for this kind of path, not this kind of path. Okay. So we will apply this formula. So using this formula, equation 1. Now let us see what are the given quantities. When it goes from here to here, this is the y component of displacement. So here, y component of displacement is downwards 490. 490. And I am taking down positive because I am writing 490 downwards. Okay, this is clear, everyone? Actual displacement from A to B is this. This is the y component of displacement. This is the x component of displacement. Okay, so y component of displacement is 490. What is the y component of initial velocity? 0. Since initial velocity is along x-axis, so this is your ux. Uy is 0. And acceleration along y-axis is 9.8 meter per second square. Downwards, so positive only, right? Let us substitute. Therefore, substitute 490 equals to 0 plus half into 9.8 t square. So this will give you 490 equals to 0 plus this will be this only. 9.8 divided by 2 will be 4.9 t square. Let me write here. T square will be 490 divided by 4.9, which you can write 4900 by 49, which will be 100. So what will be time taken? Square root of 100. How many seconds? 10 seconds. 10 seconds, right? Now, suppose you want to do the same problem in entrance exams. Now, in entrance exams, you know the formula I have taught just now few minutes back. What was the formula? Root of 2h by g. Yes or no? Few minutes back only I told this one. If it is thrown horizontally, otherwise you cannot use. So then if you put directly here, what is height? 490. G is 4.9. This will be point. If you remove 1 0, you have to add. Correct, na? I did some mistake. Huh? Oh no, this is 9.8. G is 9.8. Then this is 4.9. And if you remove 1 point, 1 0 will come. Directly the answer will come 10 seconds. So in this much space only, you can solve for entrance exams. In this much space only, you can solve if you know the formulas. That is why every day, please keep revising the formulas. If you keep it pending for 1 week, 2 weeks, then too many formulas will come on your face and you have to remember, then it will become very difficult. So every day, little, whatever formulas I am giving, try to remember them. Okay. But please don't do like this in board exam. They will not give you full marks. Okay. Done. This part is done. So what time it takes to reach here? 10 seconds. Now we have to find magnitude of the final velocity. Okay. So for that, what directly don't use v equal to u plus at. This is 2D motion. So now for second part, we will calculate Vx. Vx is what? Ux plus axt. Direct substitution let us do. Vx equals to Ux is how much? 15. In gravity, you all know acceleration along x-axis is 0. So Vx is 15. And this already I have told you. In gravity problems, x component of velocity remains constant. So final x component of velocity will be same as initial x component of velocity. And we need to now find y component of velocity. What is the formula? Vy equal to uy plus ayt. Be careful about the sign, okay? So Vy equals to Uy is 0 because the particle was thrown horizontally. Arey Baba, acceleration is along y-axis, ma Channa. How many times I will tell? How many times I will tell? Acceleration is along y-axis, not x-axis. We are doing gravity problems. What is the acceleration along y-axis? What is the acceleration along y-axis? Now you can say g. 9.8 also you can write. Now I wrote plus g, right? Since I wrote plus g, it means I have taken down positive. Down I have taken positive. Time taken is t. So let us put the values now. G value is 9.8. What is the time taken? I am asking velocity here. No, here. At this point, what was the time taken? 10 seconds. We have found already. So this will be 98 meter per second. 98 meter per second. Shanmugh, please try to cover those proportionality concept, okay? Because very nice problems we have done. So once you have found the x component of velocity and y component of velocity, therefore speed means magnitude of velocity, which you can directly write v also, will be equal to root of vx square plus vy square. Vx will be same as ux, which is 15. Vy is 98. Somebody tell me the answer, final answer you tell. Square them, add them, take the square root. 99.141. Others also check once. Sujal is saying 99.14. Okay. 99.141 meter per second. So these are the two problems, two parts of the same problem. Now I want to add one more question extra. My question is, how far it will fall from the foot of the cliff? Let me write the question because they may add that question also. So the question I'm adding, extra question. How far the ball hits from the foot of the cliff? Foot of the cliff. Matlab, I am asking x component, not range. Let us not call it range. Then you will get confused with, that previous one. This was used for range. Okay, this one. Let us call it x component of displacement. So this we want. Sx. Okay. You can call it range, no problem. Just using, but then don't use the same formula. You can call it range, but you can't use the same formula. So now, for this question, part C, this is your extra, okay? How far the ball will reach? Sx. How to find this? Which formula we have to use? Uxt. I will not even write half axt square. I will not write because I know this is my x-axis and this is my y-axis. So ux was 15, time taken was 100. So this will be, oh sorry, time taken was 10, so it will be 150. Done, students? Oh, correct. Sorry. Thanks, Nikhil. Okay. Now you can see, students, I will give you another question, same like that, exactly same, but they will tell in a different style. They will not tell hiker was standing at the top of the cliff like that. Something else they will tell. Look here. Some of you may become pilot, right? Pilot. And you may join defense. So you will have to throw missiles at bad people. Okay. So Stalin wants to become a pilot. Okay, no problem. Look here now. So let us say this is your aeroplane. See, my diagrams are not very nice. Okay, don't laugh. So this is my jet plane or something you think. Now, when it is at a height of 490 meters, it will never be 490, it will be more than that. But I want to give you the same numbers so that you will come to know that the question is same actually. So when the aeroplane is at this height and it is flying with what velocity? What was the velocity with which the stone was thrown? Oh, 15. 15 meter per second is very, very less for jet planes. So, but okay, later on we will change the number, don't worry. So the jet plane is flying at 15 meters per second. Now, here is the target. This is the target. Okay. Now, students, tell me one thing. When it reaches above the target, if he releases the missile, okay, from here, there will be a missile like this, which will be locked, So when he will press some button, that lock will be open. Then the missile will fall down. Okay. When he is above the target, that time he should release. Yes or no? Obviously, no, sir. If you release when the aeroplane is here, if you release, then this missile also has the same velocity as aeroplane or not? Yes or no? First, you tell me. When I am moving, my kidney and me are having same velocity. Why? Because my kidney is inside me only. Similarly, this missile also will have the same velocity as the aeroplane. So when the aeroplane will drop, it will simply release. Don't think initial velocity will be 0 because it is released from a moving aeroplane. So at that moment, the missile will have the same velocity as the aeroplane. So the missile will act like a stone. The missile will act like a stone which is thrown with 15 meters per second. So it will fall somewhere here. Understood or not? So therefore, once the pilot finds the target, and he will have some computer programs and all mentioned there. So once he locates the coordinates, he will release. Once it is released, at that moment, please concentrate in the class right now. At that moment when you release, it will have the same velocity, 15 meters per second. Understood or not? So with that velocity, it should hit the target like that. Understood, students? So now, if I ask you, after what time it will hit the target, same way you will do or not? Tell me. Same way you will do. After what time it will hit the target? How far it is? How far it is? If I ask that also you can do. So that is how we are going to solve the problem. Okay. So time taken you can find. How far it falls, that you can find. Please, again and again I am telling you, the actual displacement is this. This is your displacement vector. This is your y component. This is your x component. Please understand. Now, numerous times I am telling you. And that y component, sorry, this is y component. And that x component of displacement you can show here also. Okay, 1000 times I have told. Please don't get confused. Now, Chana is thinking how they will come to know. What they have to do is first find the coordinates. Okay, coordinates they have to know. No, if you don't know simply you will put bomb anywhere you want or no. So coordinates he has to know. Then they will measure this angle actually. This angle they will try to measure. This is called the elevation angle. Okay, so this angle they will try to measure. This is not angle of projection. So let me write phi. Okay. And these distances will be much larger than this. So approximately you can consider like this only. Okay, like this. So this angle they will try to find. This angle. So that is the elevation angle. So as they are going, they'll try to measure this angle. Of course, they will not take protractor and measure. As I told, software will be there already installed. So once the coordinates is found, they can measure this angle. And if I ask you this angle, what will you do? In this triangle, this is your SY. This is your SX. How much this number came? How much this number came? 150. Now tell me what angle, what trigonometric function will you use in this triangle? Tan, no? So tan phi if I use, I can write Sx by Sy. Because if this is your phi, then this becomes your opposite, this becomes your adjacent. So 150 by 490. So from here phi can be calculated. Phi can be calculated. Okay, students? So keep all these questions in your mind. Again, don't confuse this with angle of projection. This is obviously not angle of projection. This is the angle made by the line of sight between the aeroplane and the target, that line with the vertical. With the vertical. Done? Yeah, you can call it angle of depression. Done, everyone? All these are extra, okay? Okay, let us see now question number 3. By the way, students, last class when I told you the formula for range, for what angle the range was maximum? That is 1 mark question, okay? Don't forget, 45 degree, okay? So when theta is 45 degree, your range will be maximum. And the maximum range is given by u square by g. Okay, so keep this formula in your mind. See question number 3 now. The ceiling of a long hall is 25 meter high. So there is a long hall. I can't draw very long. Okay. The height is, how much they told? 25 meter. Let me write only 25 right now. Symbol I'll put later. This is hall, okay? What is the maximum horizontal distance? Maximum horizontal distance. Matlab range. What is the maximum horizontal distance that a ball thrown with a speed of 15 meter per second? So they are going to throw the stone at how much they told? At what angle? Angle they have not given, no? Angle they have not given. Speed is 40 meter per second. So with what speed? This is the speed with which the ball is thrown. So they want you to calculate the maximum horizontal distance that a ball thrown with a speed of 40 meter per second can go without hitting the ceiling of the wall. Now, some of you may think, oh sir, maximum horizontal distance. Maximum horizontal distance means what? Maximum range. Yes or no? Range means horizontal distance covered. Maximum horizontal distance means maximum range. Yes or no? Okay. So now you may start thinking that this is the for this one they are asking, maximum horizontal distance they are asking. This is the quantity and you know the formula, u square by g. U is given quantity is what? U is 40 meter per second. So you may start putting 40 here, g is 9.8 and that is my answer. This way if you do, it is incorrect. The reason why it is incorrect is in order to have this range, what should be the angle? For this range, angle should be 45 degree. But we are not sure. We are not sure at 45 degree, maybe it will hit the ceiling. Who knows at 45 degree, the maximum height may come more than 25 meter. If it comes then, if the maximum height comes more than 25 meter, it will hit the ceiling or not? Understood or not? So directly we should not do this way. We have to first find the angle so that it can reach up to the ceiling. Understood? Otherwise, if you use directly this, then you are assuming angle is 45 degree. Okay, and at 45 degree, are you sure that it will not hit the ceiling? We are not sure. So we have to first check at what angle it will almost hit the ceiling. So don't do this problem. If the ceiling was not there, students, if ceiling was not there, then this will be the answer. Understood? Hello? If ceiling was not there and if they ask maximum horizontal distance, maximum, then this will be the answer if ceiling was not there. But in this problem, there is a ceiling. So please don't do this way directly. So first what we will assume is our body goes something like this. Okay, it is just hitting matlab like this it is going. Okay, more than that it will hit, less than that it will not hit. So almost hitting like that you have to assume. So if I assume this projectile, what is the maximum height? This is the maximum height, and how much will be that they have given? 25 meter. Very good. So maximum height is 25 meter. Right? Now what is the formula for maximum height? U square sine square theta by 2g. Correct? Maximum height is U square sine square theta by 2g. U value is 25. So 25 square into theta we don't know. Sine square theta divided by 2. Students, I will take g value 10, okay, to simplify the problem. At home, you try with 9.8 and check how much you will get. Almost same answer you will get. So g value I will take 10. Okay, students, till here everything is clear. Substitution, everything is clear. We have used the formula for maximum height. Okay, because this is the maximum distance it can go. This is the maximum distance it can go without heating. Okay, without heating. If it is more than that, it will heat. So how much U will come? U is 40. Yeah? Oh yes, U is 40. U is 40. So what will be my sine square theta? 25 into 2 tens are 20, cross multiply 20. Here 40 into 40, right? 40 square means 40 into 40. 1 0 you can cancel. 2 2s are 4. 5 8s are 40. 5 5s are 15. So sine theta will come how much? Root 5 by root 16. Root 16 I can write 4. Is it clear? Calculation part is clear, right? Okay. So now we have found our theta. I have not found. Sine theta I have found. From here, if you try to find theta, it will be complicated, students. You have to use log table and all, which right now you don't know how to read also. So we will not try to find theta from here. We will leave it like this only. Then the question was to find how much far it will go, maximum horizontal distance. So this R we have to calculate. Now what is the formula for R? Now maximum horizontal distance. I will use the other formula. 2u square sine theta cos theta by g. I can use this formula also, right, students? Because from here only we got that the other one, which was sine 2 theta. So I will not use sine 2 theta because I know sine theta, right? So using this sine theta, I can substitute here directly, and cos theta we can calculate. Shall I rub this? Okay. Now tell me, all of you, if sine theta is 1 by 3, how can you find cos theta easily? The trick is, this is a trick, okay? If sine theta is 1 by 3, how to find cos theta easily? Look here. Draw one triangle, right angle triangle. Sine theta is 1 by 3 means opposite is 1. Opposite is 1. Hypotenuse is 3. Agree or not? Agree or not? Huh. Then what will be the adjacent? Root of hypotenuse square minus opposite square, right? Hypotenuse square minus opposite square. So 9 square minus 1 will be root 8. I hope all of you understood how I got root 8. Hypotenuse square minus opposite square will be root 8. Correct, na? So from here I can now easily calculate cos theta. What will be cos theta? Adjacent by hypotenuse. So like that, I'm going to calculate cos theta because we already know sin theta. So let me call this equation 2 or something. Now, we know that sin theta, how much we got, students? How much was the value of sin theta? Root 5 by 4. Right? Okay, root 5 by 4. So using this kind of trick, we will try to calculate cos theta. So we will draw a triangle. Opposite should be root 5. Hypotenuse should be 4. Then adjacent will be how much? This will be how much? Root of 4 square 16 minus root of minus root 5 square. That will be 5. So will be root 11. Understood this part? I hope so. Okay. Pythagoras theorem only you have to use. So to find this adjacent side, I took root over hypotenuse square minus opposite square. This already root is there. So root 5 square will be 5 only. So I will now, you can tell me easily what is cos theta. So cos theta will be adjacent is root 11. Hypotenuse is 4. So I have found sin theta cos theta, right? So therefore, from equation 2, I can write range is equals to, I think now I can write here. So the range will be equals to 2 into u square, okay? Equation 2, na? U was 40, right? So 40 times 40 divided by g, I am taking 10 in this problem. Sin theta is root 5 by 4. And cos theta is root 11 by 4. 4 tens are 40, 4 tens are 40, 1 10 will cancel. So range will be 2 tens are 20 into root 55. Yeah, calculate root 55 and then multiply with 20. Root 55 will be around how much? 7 point something. 7 into 240, 20 will be 140 something. So answer should be 140 something. Yeah, 148.32. In entrance exam, again, you will not have calculator to calculate. So if this question comes, how will you do it? Root 55, nearest integer you try to find. So it will be 7 point something. Understood? No. So usually the options in your exams will be quite far. 148, 200 something, 170 something, 98 something. So from there you can easily guess which will be the right answer. So I don't want any one of you to do the mistake of thinking, oh, they want maximum horizontal distance. So theta should be 45 degree, like that. If theta was 45 degree, students, then the value of sin theta which we calculated, what was the value? This was the value we found or not? If theta was 45 degree, we should have got 1 by root 2. We should have got this value. Did we get this value? No. So it is very clear theta is not 45 degree. So if you throw at 45 degree, it will hit the ceiling. Done? Okay. Yeah, Channa, in entrance exam, they usually tell you to take the value of G. But again, as long as if you see the options are not very close, my advice is always to take G as 10. But sometimes taking 9.8 will make your problem more simple. Because sometimes it will be like something like 98 divided by G like that. Then it is better to take exact value or not. Yes or no, students? If somewhere in calculation you get 98 by G, then it is better to take exact value 9.8, then you will get 100, right? 10. Okay, last question of this numerical exercise, let us finish it. A cricketer, okay, this question is based on this concept. First, let me teach the concept. Suppose you are a sportsman. No, you don't have to be sportsman actually, any person. Now, you are able to throw something maximum up to, let's say, 100 meter horizontally. So you are able to throw a stone maximum 100 meter horizontally. Question is, how much can you throw maximum vertically? That is the question. So if a person can throw horizontally up to 100 meter with the same strength, I can calculate how much far he can throw vertically. Okay, students. So let us read the question. A cricketer can throw a ball to a maximum horizontal distance of 100 meter. Ceiling is there in this problem. When you are playing cricket, ceiling is there. No ceiling. Okay, so don't worry about whatever I told before. Here, since they want maximum horizontal distance, you will take theta how much? 45 degree. Okay. So part 4. Given maximum horizontal distance is 100 meter. Question is, how much high above the ground can he throw the same ball? So they want you to calculate maximum height. Solpa confusion may be there. What is this symbol used for? In this projectile motion, what is this used for? Hello? This is used for maximum height. Then why am I writing like this? This is maximum of maximum height. Maximum of maximum height. Let me explain. Suppose you throw a stone like this. It will go like this. Correct? So this is called maximum height. Yes or no, students? Because as it is going, height is increasing and then decreasing. So we call this height maximum height. Now suppose I ask you, how much high can you throw? Will you throw this way? Hello students, if I ask you, show me your power, how much high you can throw, then nobody will throw this way. Somebody may try like this, but that is a stupid person. You should try like this, vertically. If you throw like this, it has the chance of going highest. So this is the maximum height of maximum height, which happens at what angle? Theta equals to what angle? This happens at 90 degree. With formula also we can try to understand with formula also. This was the formula for maximum height, correct? No. So when will be height maximum? When sine square theta will be 1. When sine square theta will be 1. That is the maximum value of sine or sine square. So if this is the maximum value, sine theta will be square root of 1. Square root of 1 is 1 only. For which angle it is 1? 90 degree. So if you want height to be maximum, angle should be 90 degree. Understood everybody? In range, it was different. In range, there was sine square theta or sine 2 theta. It was sine 2 theta. Yes or no, students? In range, it was 2 theta. So when will be range maximum? When sine 2 theta is 1. That means 2 theta should be 90 degree. If 2 theta is 90 degree, theta will be 45 degree. Okay, so I think everybody understood. So we have to, this is given, this is asked. Okay, so we will see how to do it. Look here. We know that R max is equals to U squared by G. This happens at 45 degree. This everybody knows, right? R max, maximum value. Okay. sine 2 theta. No need to write sine 2 theta because theta is 45 degree. So sine 2 into 45 degree will be sine 90 degree. Sine 90 degree will be 1. So this is given. Let us call this equation 1. Now, what is the formula for maximum height? U square sine square theta by 2g. So height will be maximum. Will be maximum when theta is 90 degree. Okay, if you are allowed all angles, then you should always choose 90 degree for height to be maximum. So the maximum value of maximum height will be, put 90 degree here, sine 90 degree 1. So it will be u square by 2g. Equation number 2. Now from 1 and 2, what I can do? Divide 1 and 2. What will you get? R maximum divided by height maximum is equals to 1 by 2 or 2? 1 by 2 or 2? Put the values, check properly. One by 2 or 2? What is the formula for R maximum? U square by G. This is how much? U square by 2G. So everything will cancel. 2 will go in the numerator. So please remember, R maximum by height maximum is 2. Something very useful to remember for entrance exams. Otherwise also no problem. You can derive it very quickly. So remember, R maximum by maximum height maximum is 2. Here, what is the value of R maximum given? Up to how far he can throw horizontally? 100 meter. So here this is 100 meter. This we have to find. Cross multiply. So maximum height that you can reach is 50 meter. Okay, students, everybody understood? So if you can throw 100 meter far something, you can throw the same thing 50 meter high. That is something you can check experimentally. Someday if you are in open field in some cricket or something, you divide. If you don't want to divide, then don't divide. I want to get relation between R maximum and height maximum. No, they have given you R maximum, Sujal, and you want height maximum. So better to divide so that you can find the relation. U is same. Why U is same? Because same person is throwing. If same person is throwing, the speed with which he can throw, that will be same. No, because the strength, the initial speed depends on what, students? The initial speed depends on the strength of the person. Agree or not? Strength of the person, right? So as long as the person is same, U will be same, initial speed. So you can cancel that. After dividing, you can cancel this. So obviously, I am not saying that if Stalin can throw up to 100 meter, Sujal can throw up to 50 meter vertically. It has to be the same person. Students, please try home exercise today itself. Some of you are trying after 5 days, 6 days. Then you keep asking me only how to solve like that. Please try the home exercise the same day I complete numerical exercise. Yeah, correct. Neha, fine. Okay, now we will do exam corner 2. Exam corner 2. Very interesting, simple questions are there. Let us try to answer everyone properly. A particle is thrown with a speed of 10 meter per second at an angle of 60 degree. So a particle is thrown with a speed of 10 meter per second at an angle of 60 degree. From what? From horizontal. From horizontal. What is its velocity when it reaches the highest point? Point is missing. Please write highest point. So you know this particle will follow a parabolic path. When it reaches here, it will have some velocity. Don't tell zero, okay? Zero is when you throw like this. Yes or no, students? When you throw like this, that time at highest point velocity is zero. Here also it is zero or what? Don't do like that. So much I'm teaching math. Okay. So at that point, it will have some velocity v. So this velocity they are asking at the highest point. Try once. Anybody? No other information is given. No other information. This height is not given. Time taken is not given. Nothing. Only I'm giving you initial velocity is 10 meter per second at angle 60 degree. What will be the velocity at this point? Anybody? 5 meter per second. What is the logic you used, Karthik? Can you mention the logic which you used? Yes, super. Look here, everyone. One of the very important concept in projectile motion, Channa, remember, you asked me before, acceleration along x-axis. If this is your x-axis, if your horizontal line is x-axis, then one of the most important concept is acceleration along x-axis, along horizontal line is 0. If acceleration is 0, we know that Vx should be equal to Ux. Yes or no? Yes or no? Because usually we write AXT. Usually we write like this. Usually we write like this, but AX is 0. So Vx will be equal to Ux. Right? Okay. Now, at the highest point, what is your Vy? What is the y component of velocity? 0. That means whatever velocity it has, that must be the which component? X component. So this must be V at only this point, okay, at highest point. And what is the formula for Ux? U cos theta. What was U? 10. Theta was 60. Cos 60 is half, everybody knows. So 5 meter per second. So I will advise all of you to remember this result. This is velocity at highest point. Okay, it is very easy to remember because Vx is always Ux. At highest point, there is only Vx. So whatever is the velocity at highest point, that is Vx itself. And Vx is always Ux, and Ux, you know, is U cos theta. So please remember, velocity at highest point is U cos theta. 2 mark question. Done? Everybody understood, I hope? Okay. Since I did this question, let me add one more question to this. Only for your entrance exam. So look here. This is horizontal. I am throwing a ball with 10 meter per second. U. At angle, let us say 60 degrees. Same thing. Then as it goes like this, when it reaches here, its velocity is v and angle is This will be more than 60 or less than 60. Not highest point, not highest point, ma, here. Less than 60. So let's say this is 30. So whatever numbers I have given to you, that will be given in your exams. My question is to find velocity at this point. Remember, that is not highest point, okay? This is some point here. Chalo, try this one. And I hope everybody understood why I'm drawing tangent and all. Velocity is always drawn tangent to the path. Velocity is always drawn tangent to the path at a specific point, because all these are instantaneous velocity. So the concept is same, students. From here to here, Vx should be equal to Ux, because Ax is 0. What will be your Vx now? Can I say now complete velocity is Vx? Can I say? Now there is no Vy or what? No, we cannot say, right? So what will I write for Vx? V cos this angle. So let's say this angle is 30 degree. And Ux you already know, U cos 60 degree. So V cos 30 is √3 by 2. U was given 10, cos 60 is half. So V is 10 by √3. Understood, everyone? I hope you know how to take components, x component of vectors. If you don't know that, it is a very dangerous time, students. You have to know how to take components of vectors. I'm only interested in x component because by doing that, I get the answer. Okay. Let's see the next question. Okay, this one, if you don't tell me correctly, no, I will feel very bad. Question number 2. Two balls having different speed rolls off the edge of a horizontal table, main important part, at the same time. Which one hits the floor sooner? Sooner matlab earlier. The faster ball or the slower ball? Without physics, many people will give wrong answer. Both will reach together. Super. Okay, so why? This is the table. Two balls are rolling. So one here like this. Let me show you other one this way. So one is going faster, Solpa, and the other one is going slower. But since the table is horizontal and they are rolling, you know that time taken has nothing to do with x component of velocity. It only depends on the y component. So both of them are coming horizontally. So y component of initial velocity is 0. So time taken for both of them will be root of 2h by g. Understood? And since both are falling from the same table matlab same height, same planet also. I don't think one ball is falling on Earth, another one is falling in Mars. Both of them are on Earth only. So h is same, g is same, so t will be same. Therefore, t will be same for both. Of course, faster one will cover more distance because time taken is same. So faster one will cover more distance. Horizontally. Artha, understood, everyone? Okay. Let us see question number 3. Last question we will do for today. Question number 3 is again one of the most interesting question. Okay, listen carefully. Let me make question number 3 more interesting. Suppose you are in a bus. Now I know it's been a long time. You may not have, you are not sitting in the bus for a long time now. But imagine when you were traveling in the bus. Suppose you are sitting in the any seat, particular seat, let's say, and let us say the bus is moving uniformly. Uniformly. That is important. Okay. Uniformly means the driver should not apply brakes. The driver should not apply accelerator. It should go uniformly in a straight line. Now, if you have your mobile phone in your hand, mobile phone or something which is not very expensive, if you throw it up, does it come on your hand back, or does it go behind, or does it fall in front? Have you done this? I have done many times to check whether it works or not, whether physics works or not. Okay, those who have not done it, we have to do it properly. You will find that it will land on your hand. No, it doesn't depend, Kishan, because I have given you all the conditions, Kishan. What are you saying? I'm telling the bus is moving uniformly. First, I did not tell it applied accelerator. I did not tell it applied brake. First, second condition, I told you have to throw vertically, not back. Like this, if you throw, then how it will come to your hand? Like this, if you throw, it will go back only. No. Yeah. Okay. So the answer is it will come back to your hand. But let us try to understand. This is very interesting. Why it happens exactly? Look here. Let me try to show you pictures of how it will look for somebody who is looking from outside. Is it clear, students? Okay, so look here. This is the bus. This is your hand. This is the ball. Okay, other parts are not important. Don't worry. Now, I'm talking about what this person will see. His hands are also there. So I will tell you what this person will see. Okay. So you have thrown, right now the bus is moving with, let's say, 5 meters per second. So ball is also moving or not moving right now with respect to this person? Ball is moving or not moving? Moving. Obviously, the ball is in your hand only. So ball is also moving with 5 meters per second right now. Now suppose you throw like this. You are given, let's say, 2 meters per second. Then for this person, this will be like your ux. And this will be like your what? Uy. Agree or not? Right? So it will act like a projectile only. For this person, this ball will act like a projectile. So the ball will go like this. Okay, students. Now, how much distance the ball will cover? Sx. Uxt. Agree. This is the distance covered by ball. Horizontal distance covered by ball. Agree or not? Sx equals to uxt. So Sx equals to ux is how much? 5. Time taken, I don't know. Let's say t. After 10 seconds, after 2 seconds, I don't care. Whatever time. This is the distance covered by the ball. Because this 2 meter will not come here. Remember, 2 meter will not come here. This is your ux. Now, by person, by hand. Now, hand is moving with you. You are on the seat. So, you are moving with the bus. So, displacement of hand. Uniform motion or non-uniform motion? Not the ball. Ball is moving under gravity. Bus is moving, what I told. Uniformly or not uniformly? Uniformly. So, if the bus is moving uniformly, no acceleration. No acceleration means you can write displacement as velocity into time. Velocity of bus. But what is the velocity of bus? Hello, what is the velocity of bus? 5 only. So what do you see? The horizontal distance covered by ball. The horizontal distance covered by ball. Horizontal matlab x component is same as distance covered by your hand. Yes or no, students? So therefore, the ball comes back to our hand. Okay. One student was there. He was telling me, sir, what if we put our hand in the pocket like that? Then I said, "Arey, what great, ma. In that case, the mobile will land on the floor." So like that, you should not tell, no, students, what is the joke or what you are making of physics or what. So I'm not, obviously you should keep the hand there only. Okay. One more. Okay, now tell me, what if when you are throwing the ball up, What if the driver accelerates? Then the ball will go behind or in front? Behind. Why behind? Because if your bus accelerates, your body is in the bus only. So there will be half at square. Yes or no? Half at square will be there. No, now. So now what will you see? This will be more. So this will be 5t plus something. 5t plus something. So now your hand will cover more distance than the ball. So if hand has reached here, ball will reach somewhere here. Of course, bus will also go. Only hand cannot go, right? Similarly, what if he applies brakes? If he applies brakes, what will I write here? What will I write here? What will I write here? Minus, because acceleration will be negative now, whatever number it is. So now it means what? Hand will cover less distance, ball will cover more distance. As seen by whom? As seen by this observer. So this is something very important. I hope everybody understood, right? So what I want all of you to do now is, after giving such a nice explanation, question number 3 and question number 5. 3 and 5 you have to try today. Is it okay? Question number 3 and 5 you have to try today. Channa? Okay, na? Same concept you apply. And for this question, this was not there. Now look here. This is Earth. Stop writing messages now. Stop writing. Listen. This is Earth. Now let us say Earth is rotating like this. Earth is rotating or not rotating? And I'm standing on the Earth. This is Earth. It is rotating. This is equator. Pankaj sir is standing like this. Right? Right? Correct, no? Okay. Now, let us say right now, I stay in Arekere. So right now, Arekere is below my foot. Right? Now, when I jump, suppose I jump and I attach myself to a balloon for some time. Then by that time, let's say Vijayanagar comes here. Because Earth is rotating, Vijayanagar comes back. Then when I leave the balloon, when I come down, will I fall on Vijayanagar or Arekere only? Earth is rotating. Think about this. Who is saying Vijayanagar? I will never. If I fall to Vijayanagar, means then why do I need to pay money for transportation? If it was Vijayanagar, okay, I will go there only. Exactly like the mobile phone which you have thrown upwards. So if you jump like this, not at an angle, don't jump like this, then you will fall there. Somewhere else you will fall. But if you jump vertically, then this motion will take you something like this. Earth will also go like that. So both you and that place will reach on the same spot. Thank you for today. We will explain tomorrow. I explained, no, just like your mobile phone and your hand example. Thank you.